June 21st, 2026. I'm Carmen. This is video diary page. No one's gonna see this. I'm probably just gonna talk. Unedited, raw talking, which not a lot of people have attention spans for, and I'm a victim of this, but for me it's I can't really comprehend trying to edit me venting, because then I just won't want to post it. So if I just have raw footage, I'll be able to post it without feeling guilty. These videos aren't going to be very long, and I might post like once a month, maybe once a week, maybe every other day if I genuinely feel like picking up my laptop and setting it up. No, but I'm in a pretty bad place. I'm not like depressed or anything. My life is hard. I try to be a very stoic, unmoving statue. I try to not make issues if issues don't need to be made. I try to stay in my lane. I try to keep my opinions and my stories and stuff to myself, because it's easy. And if I don't make a problem, then I don't have to worry. And I kind of fucked myself over with that. If somehow, I'm not going to be using people's names in my stories, you know, but if, you know, if somehow, you know, the people who I talk about find this and are like, oh, why are you talking about our business? I'm not going to use your name, but again, it is my right to be able to talk. I'm not talking bad, I'm just being honest. But, you know, my family's been pretty messed up lately. I'm not going to get into that because I just don't. I keep talking about it and I don't shut up about it. But I've garnered a pretty small group of online friends from a Discord server. And they were my friends. I never stated they weren't. And I made an effort. And it's hard because I grew up autistic, so like every friendship I had, inevitably I knew it was just gonna end. And I a lot of my life I just kind of accepted, oh well, if, you know, if I just leave, then I won't be hurt, right? But this isn't one of those cases. I left because my mental health is really bad, so I leave the server. Just because you know, I don't want to have to keep explaining myself. And I feel like a broken record when I have a group of people and I just keep talking about it. And I know people are always like, oh, but you shouldn't feel bad about talking to your friends about stuff that's going on. Yeah, I get that, but they're online. They don't live in my area. They don't know me. They don't really care, you know? Maybe that's harsh, but like in my head, like they don't know me. They wouldn't make an effort to meet me. I'm just there because I'm fucking, you know, they can walk on me, all over me, you know? And that's a lot of where my anxiety and, you know, nerves came up with that friendship. Because, a lot of the friendships anyways, because they realized, they could just walk all over me. I would give them stuff for free because I felt guilty, because I wanted friends, and they could get me to spend money on them, or they could get me to give them things, or they can, you know, and those are things that are very rare, near and dear to me. Like, these are things I don't do for people often. Like, what? And it's in a fucking game. Like, go use your own money and get your own shit, dude. You shouldn't get a 19-year-old to buy you stuff on a video game. A kid's game, that is. And I would be a hypocrite because I do play those games as well, but I don't know. I started noticing, you know, I didn't feel like I felt like a dog. The best analogy I can use for being in a friendship while I'm autistic is I feel like a dog. You know when people have like chihuahuas in their bags, like in the little bag, and they hold it, and there's a little chihuahua. I'm the chihuahua. I'm just there to look pretty. I'm just there to look like a good person. I'm there as a reason to be like, oh well, yeah, this is my dog. You know, yeah, you can talk to them, you can pet them if you want. I feel like a dog, or I'm like the second depiction of a dog, like a sad, neglected dog in every friendship I've been in, and there's a lot of things that I keep to myself when I try to disconnect from people due to my own stuff. But obviously I'm not going to tell them because I'm not going to be a sob fest over me leaving a Discord server. It's counterintuitive and I'm just going to feel more depressed. And that's what's happened here. No, but I don't know. I just don't like being in groups where I'm just like, oh, yeah, well, I feel like I'm a kid, you know? Like, I feel like I'm a kid, or one of the things I've noticed is that it's hard for me to be in calls with a lot of people because person A, person B, they can talk, and then person C, me, is sitting there because they're talking, and I'll talk to them, but they won't talk to me, you know? And it becomes a thing where it gets too much. I feel like I'm a kid on a playground and everyone else wants to play soccer and no one asked me if I wanted to play, you know? It's hard. Not a lot of people acknowledge me. Just that's just something I've noticed, and I've reached out to the people that did mean a lot to me. That's all I can say. I reached out to the people, right? And there were certain people I didn't reach out to because they're so I'm not gonna use names, but a lot of what happened for me. I'm just gonna say the last bit. I left the server, right? My boyfriend leaves because he has no business being in the server if I'm not there, because that's the only reason he joined. Why do you want to be in a server with just my boyfriend after I left? That's just, that was just me. But they, like, the person got mad because my boyfriend left, and they're like, oh, if you don't want to be our friend, just say it. Here's the thing. I reached out to the people who did mean a lot to me, and I felt like actually cared. I tried to reach out to the people, there was a lot. And the fact that the only reason this person reached out to me was because they were upset at me for leaving, because, like, how do I explain this? They're an adult, like a in their 20s adult, and I'm a 19-year-old, and it's like, it felt so possessive. Ooh. Am I lagging? Okay, there, I fixed it. It felt kind of possessive in a way. Because why do you care what a 19-year-old is doing who you have no real connection with? Because to me, that connection was real. To them, maybe it wasn't. I don't care. I gave them things. I did my best to be a good friend. I was there for them. I tried. I really tried. And so much stuff happened, and I'm not going to get into it because it's not my business, it's theirs. But I stood for them in everything, and one thing that genuinely bothers me about the whole situation is that something happened, something really fucked up happened, and I found out who did it. It is lagging. I found out who did it. And I never got a thank you. I had people being like, egging me on, and being like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And I was like, well, no, I wanted to be in a private call with the person because I found out, you know? And all of those other people that were in the call, they left. I stayed. And the treatment is just astounding. So, I've talked for almost 10 minutes now. Again, if you're the person that I've spoke about in this video, and if you somehow see this, you do know who you are. GG, like, I don't, what do I say? I don't mind, but like don't come at me. You know? It's I don't know how to explain it. Just don't just keep it to yourself and just don't watch from this point on. No, I don't know. It just hurts, so. June 21st, 2026.